get it now.
Welcome to another edition of Cajun Classic Cars TV, sponsored in part by Vicari Auction. Check them out for your dream ride or to sell your car at vicariauction.com. I'm Flying Brian, and with me today is William in the Acadiana area, Lafayette, Louisiana. And tell us what car we're going to look at today, William.
1966 Ford Mustang.
One of my favorite cars. Let's hear about it.
We used to call Fred king of the crabgrass diggers. Then he dug Mustang 66. Mustang swept him out of the ordinary. Here in the cockpit, bucket seats, sporty steering wheel, 5-dial instrument cluster are standard. With Mustang options like front disc brakes, a stereosonic tape player.
We're back in Lafayette, Louisiana, part of the Acadiana area of the Bayou State. Today we talk with William about his awesome car club, the Acadiana Gearheads, and his first-generation Mustang. First-generation Mustang was made from 1964 until 1973. The introduction of the Mustang created a new class of automobiles known as pony cars. The Mustang styling with its long hood and short deck proved wildly popular and inspired a host of competition. But this one stands in a class all by itself. You may see Mustangs all over the place on the highways and at car shows, but you won't see many original 1966 Mustangs in this shape. Hey, William, before we get to the car, tell us what started your love of classic cars, man.
Well, I'll tell you, back in the day, my dad was a car guy. He always had a really cool car. Even though he was a mathematician and he was a CPA, he always had a cool car.
Okay.
And so as a young person, he would bring me to the races. We had a drag strip in Opelousas. It was called Pell State Raceway. And it was actually the airport. It's an old World War II strip that they used, during that war. And so from 1959 to 1970, it was a full-on NHRA sanctioned drag strip. And so Dad would bring me out there, and I just was enthralled with the hot cars. We got to see some famous names like Tommy Ivo, Don Garlitz, and many other people that the younger crowd doesn't know who they are. But these were icons in the drag racing community. And so that started it right there. Dad, I had a hand-me-down car, which was a 1966 Pontiac Bonneville that was in the family, and I ended up with it. And we thought we were something special because it would do 90 in the quarter. It had a 389 4-barrel turbo 400, and from then until now, it's been nothing but cars. And so we always had cool cars. Oh my goodness, that's easy because in the early 80s, I ran across a 1970 Plymouth Cuda. It was a big block car. It was black interior, black outside, black vinyl top. It was a big block car. It had a 440 in it, automatic console bucket seats. It had no air conditioning. It didn't come with it. And you talk about a hot car.
Well, it had a 455, right? 4 windows down and 55 miles
That's
an hour.
Right. Yeah. Make sure both windows are down. Right. So, but in those days, I was a new dad and stuff like that, and my son needed some operations on his ears for his hearing. And so that car was sold. I had a 79 Ford Mustang Fox body, which was the first year. They call them 4 eyes because it had 4 glass headlights on it.
And I'll interrupt real quick. Those Fox bodies, they have become real collectibles.
Exactly.
I see people all the time on blogs and Facebook posts of people looking, if not begging, for parts for those Fox bodies,
Yeah.
Yep. William, tell us a little bit about this Mustang. Let's walk around the outside and see what you can come up with, man.
Okay, well, so it is a 1966 Mustang. It was built in San Diego, California. Ford had a big hit when they came out with the Mustang. It sold amazingly well. It was the right time, the right car for the right time. This particular car is Saturn Mist Poly. That's the Ford name for the color. The aftermarket name is Saturn Mist Gold. So that's the new name for the old color. This is an original Ford color. This is the color the car came when it was brand new. Now, of course, it's been repainted. The grille and the bumper and all of the front end suspension has been renewed and updated. It was originally a vinyl top car. and that is a recreation of the original vinyl top. Otherwise, the car is original to a great extent. The interior of the car is what they call a pony interior, because the seats have the little ponies galloping across the back of them in like a caricature form. But that is the original as delivered interior. The only difference, major difference, is that this was an air-conditioned car. Now, they didn't come from the factory with air conditioning. That was a dealer-installed item. They installed a Classic Air system, which I'll show you. And the Classic Air system uses the original brackets for the compressor, but it uses a modern compressor that's compatible with the 134 refrigerant. The car is basically as delivered with some modern upgrades, like the radiator is not original, carburetor is not original, the air cleaner top, it looks better than the original one, so I put this one on there, and of course the air conditioning system. But otherwise, the car is pretty much as it was delivered back in the day. So that's quite a bit about what I know about it. The only other thing is that when they repainted the car, they repainted inside the trunk. All of the door jambs under the hood, everywhere, has been repainted. But the original car would have had a speckled paint applied to the inside of the trunk. And this one doesn't have it. So when they repainted it, they repainted inside the trunk, but they did not put the speckled trunk paint. And there was two different colors of speckled paint for the trunks. So that's another little issue that this car should have had when they restored it, but they overlooked that particular area. Well, let's take a look inside. Well, as you can see, this is the factory configuration of the dashboard. It's amazing, but this is an original dash pad. This is the original console. It is starting to show some wear. These were made out of a material called die cast, which is basically zinc. And they figured out a way to chrome plate zinc, and which is fine and dandy. It's a cheap material to work with, but over the course of time, it gets a few pits in it. And so that's what happens to these things. It's not made out of aluminum. It's not made out of anything more common. Even a plastic one might have been a little bit more durable than this. So if you know, it's an original console, so it does have the original, you could say, patina that goes to it. The reason they had these big old steering wheels is because this car, most of them came without power steering. Now, this was an original power steering car, but the way that Ford designed this car is it was originally a standard steering car with an adapted power steering cylinder on the tie rod. It doesn't have a power steering box as you would have on a more modern car. It actually has a hydraulic cylinder with a sensing device, and it senses whether you turn right or left, and it sends hydraulic pressure to that direction, which is a pretty unique system, but it's also prone to leaking quite a bit. So this is the under dash unit, and it tucks up nicely under the dash, but it's not original.
Hey everybody, this is Jim Fox with Vicari Auction. I want to invite you to our spring auction May 30th and 31st in Biloxi. We'll have almost 400 cars, and we'll sell a bunch of them. We'll be selling cars like candy bars. So check us out at vicariauction.com and look at the website. You can see the cars that we're going to have at the auction right now. Once again, that's vicariauction.com. I'll see you there.
Okay, it has what's called a pony package. The pony package has the seats. There's little Mustangs on the back of the seats, on the seat backs, and so for that reason, it was called the pony interior. Well, that interior also included, the upscale gauge cluster, the console, the steering wheel, the seats, and it was a little bit more refined than your base model Mustang.
You got yourself a good old school AM radio there.
It's very old school.
Does it still work?
No.
That's about right. That's about
it's
right.
It's going to get upgraded. They make replacements that look original, but it also has FM and stuff like that.
Oh, classic sound is awesome. Yeah, I've got one in my 65 Thunderbird.
Yeah. Well, another feature of this car, and it wasn't mandated until 1968, is that it has hazard flashers. They're not located on the dash as you would imagine, or even on the steering column like a more modern car would have. The actuator for the hazard lights is actually in the glove box. So you can go in there and actuate the hazard flashers, which was 2 years. I guess they knew the federal law was coming. So they engineered the car to have that device. And a lot of the Mustangs have it, even though people don't realize it's in the switch for it is in the glove box. Okay, let's crank her up. So it's been upgraded with Patronic ignitions. Basically, it retains the stock distributor, but it has an electronic guts inside of it instead of points. So that allows it to start right up. It also has an electric automatic choke, so that there's no, you used to have a lever right here that would engage the choke, but that's been discontinued. The choke works automatically, and you give it a little bit of gas and it kicks down. So it's got a few concessions to modernity on it.
Tell us a little bit about your car club, William.
2021, I started a group called Acadiana Gearheads, and it was mostly just for fun. It was to share pictures of events. We had another page that would actually list the car events, which has since kind of fallen out of favor, so to speak. So when that happened, I started posting the events that were happening locally, like cruise-ins, car shows, what have you. I'm part of the Bayou State Corvette Club, Ford Mustang Club of Acadiana, Cruising Cajun Country, Antique Auto Club of America. And so without people knowing where the events would be, they're like, well, how are we going to find out? So that's when the idea for Acadiana Gearheads came up. So what we do with Acadiana Gearheads, it's not just for the events. These t-shirts that I have right here, we've been selling those, and
your
the
cars
proceeds
are
for
the
the different color
stars.
shirts go to
Cajun
St.
Classic
Jude's.
Cars
So far,
TV.
since 2021, we've donated over $22,000 to St. Jude's. Now I'm coming out with an orange shirt like this one. The shirts were basically donated, but I'm having the logo printed on it. These shirts, when they're sold, are going to go to a veterans organization. So we're going to raise money not only for St. Jude's, but for veterans. Last year we had a blanket drive, and we collected 240 blankets, which were donated to veterans groups, to a men's shelter, and to Catholic charities. And it was a good thing that the Catholic charities got those blankets, because it was right before the 4-degree winter that we had this past January. So the good Lord gave us the ability to collect those blankets, but also to distribute them to the people that needed them the most. Also, we did Toys for Tots. We had Gearheads and Coffee at the request of the Home Depot in Broussard. They called me and they wanted to do a cruise in, so we made it happen. And so while we were there, we did a Toys for Tots event, which we raised a whole pickup truck full of toys, which were since donated to that Toys for Tots organization. So it's not only for fun, which, doing all these car events and hanging around with all these people is a lot of fun. And all these people that are in Gearheads are dear to my heart. When I have my birthday, I get hundreds of well wishes for my birthday, but it's not because of just me. It's because of the generosity of the people who are donating and buying these t-shirts, because they know the money is going to the right causes. So it's not just for fun, but it's also to help those that are less fortunate than our own selves. So that's basically a synopsis of what Acadiana Gearheads does.
How can they get in touch with Acadiana Gearheads if they want to arrange a show or get more information?
Well, they can look it up online. They can go to the admins, and I'm on there actually twice. I'm under the admin name of William Johnson. I'm also there under my middle name, which is Hale Johnson. Terrence Ogeron is also an admin, but he's kind of like a backup in case for whatever reason I lose connection with the page, which has happened before. They can instant message me through my profile on Facebook. And so they can send me a message, which I get messages all the time, but I get phone calls and instant messages, emails, texts all the time on how either to put one on, how to do it, so on and so forth. I usually give my advice for free. I don't charge anybody for it.
William, thank you so much for talking about your Mustang,
No
man. I
problem,
appreciate
man.
it.
Yeah.
One of my favorite cars. I got to be honest with you, I'm jealous. When I told my wife that I was coming to Lafayette to film it, she remembers meeting you in Milton, and she loves this car.
Wow.
And so she was excited about that. So I appreciate you sharing it with us today.
No problem at all. Anytime you want to look at it, it's there.
All right, sounds great.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching Cajun Classic Cars TV. Visit our sponsor, VicariAuction.com.